Wow. I really don't even know how I'm going to start this video. I mean, if you read the title, you should already know that I'm going to be giving some kind of critique towards Contrapoints' latest video about capitalism. And of course, I think she did a fantastic job of deconstructing the motives and the alienation of the alt-right and some of the inherent problems of capitalism. But just like a Marxist, I don't think she gave capitalism a fair shake, especially being who she is. And allow me to explain. First of all, I love what you said about the 80s. It's coming to my realization now that the 80s were a miniature neon matrix in which we took all of the drugs and the violence and the death of the 70s, and we painted them over with this neon lights and these dance techno pop tunes that, I mean, like walking on sunshine while drugs and alcoholism and violence was still going on. The 80s is the living definition of rose-colored glasses, and I think that's what attracts a lot of alt-right members to that point in history. It's probably why we have such a renaissance of 80s cinema and reboots going on in our society right now, because we just can't get out of the times where a simplistic man was elected president and he used his funds to not only practice socialism for corporations, but strict austerity measures for the people. Of course, I'm talking about Ronald Reagan and trickle-down economics. The reason why it worked, the reason why our love affair with the 80s worked so well is because the American aesthetic is postmodern in a sense. The American aesthetic follows the masculine aesthetic, the objectivist aesthetic of being strong and independent and self-reliant. I might be rambling a bit, but one of the greatest sins that the alt-right does is that it misconstrues the nature of postmodernism. Postmodernism, if you already don't know, is a natural skepticism towards orthodoxy. Now, left-wing postmodernism makes you forget your own agency. It's kind of whiny. It preaches a certain level of helplessness. It preaches a sense of defeatism and self-pity that it's hard to sell. Right-wing postmodernism, well, it makes you forget the objective truth of your own limitations. It makes you narcissistic. It makes you proud. Right-wing postmodernism is a drug, and it is a powerful drug that was cultivated so well by conservatives of the 80s. I mean, seriously, between Rambo and Rocky and Hulk Hogan ripping off his shirts, we saw a sense of the individual that could accomplish anything. We saw an individual that self-actualizes. We saw what we could be as human beings. And I think that's what we're trying to capture again with this second childhood that we're going to in society. But going back to capitalism, Contrapoints, I think where your video goes wrong is that I think you've been taught to see capitalism as a tool of oppression, as an immoral tool of oppression, when capitalism is neither moral or immoral. It's just a tool. It's just a tool to help individuals self-actualize and societies progress. And what makes it more ironic is that you are a fantastic example of a good capitalist. You are a producer. You are a creator. You're one of the better creators in YouTube. And I should know because I've been heckling you since 2012 when you made that scathing review of the Avengers and how it caters to patriarchy. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to put it out there that I've been heckling you since 2012. Anyway, you being such a good capitalist flies in the face of logic of your criticisms of capitalism. What we have to deal with What the real problem we have to deal with is that we are running out of means for people to self-actualize. We're running out of masculine social capital. And under those terms, there is a fight for jobs. There is a fight for resources. There is a fight for, I'll say it, there's a fight to pass down masculine social capital from father to son, because those are finite. This is a finite planet. What are we going to do about not the evil of capitalism, but the possibility that capitalism is not going to be able to supply enough social capital and self-esteem and health and well-being for everyone? That's the real question. Now, your friend Tabby, like a lot of leftists, they're recommending revolution, right? They're recommending revolution. But we all know that they really don't want revolution because they can't define it. I submit to you, madam, that the left doesn't want revolution. They're just on the wrong side of game theory. They want the solution with the least amount of pain. A full-on revolution will lead to anarchy, death, starvation, and possibly genocide. And the far right are so terrified because America has never had its shit pushed in by a real dictator that the alt-right are consolidating and, well, they're getting ready for war. The alt-left, on the other hand, they don't want revolution. What they really want to do is to inflict suffering on people who have been placed in a social hierarchy higher than them. They want to hurt people. They just want to give a little pain back that reflects the pain that they feel inside. So we really need a real solution. We need to bridge the gap, because I'm telling you, I think that all of this would be solved. All of our problems would be solved if we just found a way to show that we could have a civil revolution and make it more financially sound than other countries. We just have to be better capitalists. We have to practice like they said, we have to practice a scientific socialism that meets its budgets, that sets its goals for its citizenry, that sets behavior for good citizenship to the point that we could replace money and currency. We could replace money and currency with good citizenry. And there should always be a means for profit. There should always be a profit incentive when we're talking about society, because that's how we innovate as people. I guess that's all I had to say. Once again, you're a fantastic capitalist, Contrapoints. You're selling yourself short. You're one of the best creators on YouTube, and I think that you're being rewarded handsomely in that fictional marketplace of ideas that supposedly doesn't exist. So, it's your boy Louis I Fear signing out, and yeah, how you like the Oculus? Peace.